Hello and welcome to Mabinda TV. This is home of Providence Conservatism. We advocate for a fine balance between individual creative genius excellence as afforded by capitalism and society excellence as afforded by equality of opportunity. So in essence, we are calling for capitalism with our human first, that is capitalism with our human first. So now this is the Making America, and in the making, this is a three-part segment where I'm looking at the Making America ideas and then finally Bible study. So in the Making America, I'm asking, will Donald Trump be a dictator in his second term? That is, will Donald Trump be a dictator in his second term? Of course, he was asked this question by I think the Fox News host, Sean Hannity, who wanted to know from Donald Trump whether he will abuse power once in office. Will he seek revenge to his tormentors? Of course, some say the reason why Donald Trump is facing so many court charges, he has 91 criminal charges that have been brought against him. So, of course, some say this is a weaponization of the DOJ, basically. And if Donald Trump should capture power, then he will go after Joe Biden or maybe his son Hunter Biden and his close associates. Of course, and Donald Trump maintains that he is innocent in all, but of course some have explained that Donald Trump has authoritarian tendencies. Some have explained that Donald Trump has authoritarian tendencies and basically he will scuttle away the American Constitution. They say Donald Trump has always admired authoritarian leaders, autocrats, basically dictators. He says he admires the strong hand of Putin in Russia. Donald Trump has said many times that he admires the strong hand of Putin in Russia, and of course he also, even though he criticizes China in public, but of course again he also admires maybe the kind of power that Xi Jinping wields over China. So you can't guess that he admires leaders that are strong. So some say he wants to see the same kind of power, the same kind of reign in America, but of course that is something that a lot of leftists, a lot of Democrats are bringing against Donald Trump. That is, he will stay in power for as long as it takes, that he will bring the military to the American streets, he will muzzle down the media that is critical of him, and of course he will go after the people that serve in his administration only to resign and leaked his secrets. So that's Donald Trump for you. So I guess for now Donald Trump appears, of course he will be the Republican nominee, barring any unforeseen circumstances. Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee. You can't take that to the bank. I think the other GOP contenders, the other GOP Republican candidates are merely auditioning for the vice president's role, but I don't think they will ever catch Donald Trump. I think he leads by about 30-40 percentage points. I think the next one who follows him is Ron DeSantis, or maybe, and then of course closely by Nikki Haley. But of course maybe, I think maybe the anti-Trump vote could have consolidated. Maybe they would have had a chance to unseat Donald Trump. That is, if they would have consolidated the anti-Trump vote, maybe then there could be a chance for one of them to ascend to and be the Republican nominee. Already the Ohio Republican Party has endorsed Donald Trump as a presumptive Republican nominee. So that's Donald Trump for you. Basically, he is coming back, I think, and I think in matchups, electoral matchups, in November 2024 matchups with Joe Biden, he appears ahead of Joe Biden, especially in key battleground states, especially in key states such as Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania. Donald Trump appears to be ahead of Joe Biden by a significant margin. So I think for now, I think Trump, then this is what informs that Donald Trump could be on the cusp Donald Trump could be on the cusp of returning to power in 2024, and you can be sure that he will be unleashing his rage against his detractors and maybe bringing America to the far right. Of course, Donald Trump took over the Republican Party and changed it and moved it to the far right. Of course, some say that this was after the election of Barack Obama, where where America was pushed to the far left. So this was a reaction by the radical left that had wanted to take over America, and you can see the pushback from the Republicans on so many fronts. Imagine, and of course, things such as DEI, such as transgender, I think the Republicans don't want. I think diversity, equity, inclusion, these are things that Republicans don't think maybe is going to dilute white power in America, or maybe the dilution, you have the great replacement theory, that is the left, the Democrats want so many non-white immigrants to America so that they could be assured of a brown or black vote. And I think right now, there is that fear. Of course, you have Donald Trump saying, I think asking someone, why don't we have more immigrants from places like Norway, but more from the Middle East, Africa, and Asia? So these are mostly solid Democrat votes, because I think, and I think America is in a conundrum. Basically, I think the Republicans have the better ideas to lead America. That's a fact. I don't think this is a joke at all. I think that's a fact. Republicans have the better ideas to lead America, but then they have a very wild racial identity politics. But then the Democrats, they have very terrible ideas on how to lead America, but then they have a wider racial coalition. That's why, even though people such as a segment such as African Americans are not getting anything from the Democrats, from the Biden administration, but they prefer to go along because the Democrats gave them, because the Democrats gave America its first African American president, and was nearly on the cusp of giving America another, the first woman president, before she narrowly lost to Donald Trump. So of course, minorities see, or people of color see, Democrats as their future, while the Republican is thought as a party of preserving white power in America. So I think for now, but I think when it comes to governing the deep issues of the day, it is the Republicans that have the upper hand when it comes to governing, when it comes to having the top issues of the day. I think it is the Republicans. I think it is the Republicans that have the better issues of the day. I think it is the Republicans that have the better ideas on how to run America. So how do you solve this conundrum? Well, on the one hand, you have the Republicans having the better ideas on how to lead America, but very bad racial identity politics. But then the Democrats having a wider racial coalition that minorities, people of color feel they belong to, but then having very terrible policies, sanctuary cities, where anyone just comes to America, and of course the American taxpayer pays for it. A deeply invested federal government, where the American would be so weakened as to be wholly dependent on the American federal government. So I think for now, this is a conundrum, and I think American politics is spoiled on the basis of ideology. So you have, within the Democrats, you have the squad that has gone to the far left, and of course they want radical change in America in terms of the racial makeup of America, or maybe the racial composition of America. Then on the Republican side, they have shifted to the far right, basically, which is about maybe preserving white power, the white power structure in America. So these are deeply fundamental issues for America, and I think maybe America has to search its soul. Is the soul of America lost? So that is the soul of America lost, so that you have one party having a very good ideas on how to lead America, but very terrible racial identity politics, that is the Republicans. Then you have the Democrats on the one hand having very terrible, the Democrats having very terrible ideas on how America should be run, basically federal control of everything, but then having very good racial identity politics, where I think even the minorities feel they belong to. So this is something that is going to encumber America, and it is something that has degenerated into a deadlock in America. I think the parties are now split 50-50, and I think as Joe Biden does poorly in the key battleground states, then the election is a close call. I don't think anyone can't say who will win that coming 2024 election for sure. So it's something that is coming up. But I think the two parties need to straighten up. I think the Republican Party has to maybe shift from the far right to the center right, and then the Democrats, I think, maybe the squad is just too radical to the left, and I don't think maybe this overzealous increase of federal power, I don't think, of federal control, I don't think it augurs well for a country that was founded on individual dynamism, where the individual is the master of their own destiny. So I think for now, Donald Trump will likely go on revenge, but I think he will be guarded by institutions. Of course, his critics don't agree. They say he will not have incentive to obey the Constitution since he will not be seeking the re-election. So he will be a very tough authoritarian president. So that's it. That's it for the Making America. And then in ideas, as Harvard President Claudine Gay faces pressure to resign, should college students look beyond the Ivy League? That is, should college students look beyond the Ivy League? So you have Harvard President, you had the University of Pennsylvania UPenn President Elizabeth McGill, you had the UPenn President Elizabeth McGill, you had the UPenn President Elizabeth McGill tendering her resignation after very early answers to the Congressional Committee by the New York Congresswoman, that is Stephanie. So you had the New York Congresswoman Stephanie. You had New York Congresswoman Stephanie questioning her whether a call for genocide of Jews amounted to bullying and harassment of Jewish students at Harvard. Of course, she resigned after pressure from the donors, after pressure from donors, students, and I think the board. So that is the way it is. But I think the question I'm asking, should college students look beyond the Ivy League? I think you have a lot of students who have gotten offers from these Ivy League colleges, calling their college counselors and telling them that they no longer want to go to these Ivy League elite colleges. They want to go maybe to the state-run colleges, and maybe they'll get a better education. And I think maybe that should be a good thing. I think these universities, these state colleges, these state universities, or maybe the not so well-known private colleges could do with more funding that goes to the likes of Harvard or MIT or Princeton or Stanford or Yale. I think these colleges have billions of endowment. Harvard alone has an endowment of $50 billion. That's more money than some countries' GDP, such as Rwanda. So you have Harvard alone has an endowment of $50 billion, and I think some of that money could be useful to struggling state universities or middle-of-the-road private colleges. And I think when students go look beyond the Ivy League, maybe we could have more balance in this equality of opportunity, so that students don't think the only way to excel, to have a successful life later on in future, the only way to have a successful career is by being admitted to one of these elite American Ivy League institutions. And I think that would be good for American equality of opportunity. As these colleges, these elite Ivy League colleges, as they have record low admission numbers, then that speaks of the quality of the rest of the American colleges. Why should students only have to choose maybe cutthroat competition for just about maybe 200, not even 200, 20, 30 colleges, when there are so many? There are about 4,000 colleges in America, so why won't students go to those other colleges? And I think if this is a silver lining, the rise of anti-Semitism, the public outrage over the rise of anti-Semitism in these elite Ivy League colleges is godsend, is a silver lining. I think now students will go beyond the Ivy League in seeking to have more merit in these other American colleges. So I think for now, what we need to do then is to have these colleges is to have more widespread colleges, to have more funding. Let the donors go to the maybe second tier and third tier colleges. That's where the real problem is. I think in these colleges you see students that are drunken on your way to the classroom. You see students that are drunken in the corridors. These are the colleges that we need to uplift so that America can have more equality of opportunity. So you let me know on what you think about that is as the uproar over as the backlash from the rising anti-Semitism in American elite colleges. Is it gotten so that students will look beyond the Ivy League in deciding where they should enroll for college? And then in Bible study, I'm looking at Leviticus chapter 1 verse 1 to 4. I'm looking at Leviticus chapter 1 verse 1 to 4 where it says that voluntary sacrifices and offerings. So I will read it out. So the Lord called out to Moses from inside the meeting tent and said, tell the Israelites, when you bring an offering to the Lord, the offering must be one of your tame animals. It can be a sheep, a goat, or one of your cattle. If you offer one of your cattle as a burnt offering, it must be a bull that has nothing wrong with it. You must take the animal to the entrance of the meeting tent where the Lord will accept the offering. You must put your hand on the animal's head while it is being killed, so the Lord will accept it as your burnt offering to make you pure. So why? So this is about maybe philanthropy. So why? This is what lessons could we apply about philanthropy? How do we best conduct philanthropy? I think. The passage I find very applicable to philanthropy is that let not your left hand know what your right hand has given. Of course, I'll paraphrase it. That is, let not your left hand know what your right hand has given. So I think this is about philanthropy. So when we are in philanthropy, when we are giving to the poor, I think we should give out our best. We should not. What happens is that we give the leftovers. We give that which we don't need. I think even the donation of clothes, we give out that which we do not need. But I don't think it should be that way. I think what we need to give is our best shirt, our best trouser, our best money that could have helped us in other means, but then we decide to give us to philanthropy. If you have $1 billion, then you give only maybe $1 million. That's not it. I think we should give with our heart, with our soul, and with a lot of love, so that then these gifts can help the poor. So I think that's we should do philanthropy with the love, and also not merely as an act of vanity, disposing of that kind of wealth, not as an act of vanity of disposing that kind of wealth. I think we should just do it with a lot of love, with a lot of appreciation, and that is how to help the poor within us, the poor in our society, so that then the poor can also get to partake the blessings of the Lord. And of course they say, let's not, of course a lot of people take pictures once they donate to a charity, once they donate to a children's home, but that is not as it should be. I don't think that is any way to, I think it just reduces the humanity of those who are receiving the gift. I think maybe it makes them not be able to help themselves, and I don't think that should be happening at all. So that's it for now. This is in this segment I've been looking at whether Donald Trump will be a dictator in his second term, and then in ideas as Harvard President Claudine Gay faces pressure to resign. Should college students look beyond the Ivy League? Is it a good thing that college students now should be looking beyond the Ivy League? And then finally in Bible study, Leviticus chapter 1 verse 1 to 4, voluntary sacrifices. What does it teach about giving, about philanthropy? So this has been Mabila TV. This is home of Providence Conservatism, where I advocate for a fine balance between individual creative genius excellence as afforded by capitalism and society excellence as afforded by equality of opportunity. So in essence, we are calling for capitalism with a human first, that is capitalism with a human first.